which is that about police issuing warnings to so-called blade runners. They've cut down ultra-low emission zone ULEZ cameras, but they were also, in the process, cutting down traffic lights. So 2 children have been injured in a car crash. Alan Miller is with us. He is the co-founder of the Together Declaration. Alan, there is, I think, very justifiable worry about ULEZ. I think it's a crazy policy from Sadiq Khan. But at the same time, I mean, we cannot condone illegal actions in regard to cutting down these cameras, and there are clearly problems now with cutting down traffic lights at the same time, which of course are there for people's safety.
Good morning, Peter.
Morning.
At Together, we always make the point that the way to get rid of these impositions that people do not want, that the majority of people have said when the so-called consultations are in place that they do not want and have been ignored, when there's been a very wrong intervention in scientific studies by the Deputy Mayor and the Mayor's office to try and change the way things are allegedly scientifically reported. When all those things happen, what we say at Together is that we should lobby councillors, lobby MPs, actively challenge things and get them taken down and taken out in the correct fashion that way. That's what Together's been saying all along, winning hearts and minds, changing the perspective and forcing the authorities to take them back down. Obviously, many people are furious, and people have taken it upon themselves in certain instances to do some of this. And, you know, I certainly can see that when people see, for instance, the Deputy Mayor, Mr. Rodriguez, saying to Imperial College and Queen Mary's, change the way the study reports to make sure it doesn't embarrass us, or when the Mayor says it's the wrong type of person responding. Some people think what we're trying to do will fall on deaf ears because they'll ignore us anyway. And that's the danger to the democratic process.
You're right, Alan. You're right. And there's another story, it's on the front of the Daily Telegraph today. Britain's climate watchdog has privately admitted a number of its key net zero recommendations have relied on insufficient data. And the problem is when you have these policies that take away people's liberty, that charge them money they don't have, we cannot in any way condone illegal action, and especially this kind of illegal action. A low sophisticated improvised explosive device has been used, for example, on one occasion in Sidcup in South East London for these things. But what we can understand without ever condoning illegality is people's frustration.
And I think the thing is, Peter, that we encourage, and I'd really like to say to your viewers and listeners, can everyone get involved? We have a campaign where we get our MPs and councillors in this election year to sign a pledge for transparency around net zero. Net zero is the thing that's underpinning all of this. A few green billionaires have been really dominating and hijacking the democratic arena, the public sphere, by meaning that we have very little funding for anything that questions this. You can't get it published in the academic arena because they also fund those things. We've done a report on it with Ben Pole, but now we've got a pledge, togetherdeclaration.org. People should have a look at it. We should circulate it to our MPs and councillors and say your votes will depend on it. Every MP and councillor should sign it. It's about transparency in the democratic process. Whatever one thinks about how we might engage our resources or use energy, this is about being able to have an honest, open discussion with costs and benefits. That's not being allowed at the moment currently, and we need to make sure it does happen.
Alan, thank you very much indeed. That's Alan Miller, who's co-founder of the Together Declaration. Thank you for your thoughts on that.